following it by giving us a list of things we need to pack that we really don't need to pack. You've realised your mistake and now you're backtracking, Alison. Well, good morning. I want to make people laugh today because yesterday I was giggling my little butt off. So a couple of weeks, well, it's been like a month ago now, I picked up some old vintage travel guides that give like advice and tips, and these are dated in the late 80s, I think this one, and the early 90s. Pretty clearly. Got the best pages, the best bits, and I just thought we'd all have a giggle. So whatever you're doing today, whether you're listening to this in the background, while you're cleaning your kitchen, I see you there. I just thought we could all have a little bit of a giggle of the kind of advice that they gave for travel back in like the early 90s and stuff, because it is really funny. This is probably the closest travel content you're ever gonna get on this channel for the next like 6 months, so enjoy. So this is from Alison Rice. It is travel tips and holiday hints. As essential as your passport. Is it, Alison? Is it? This was published in 1990. All right. Now it's really weird because obviously back then it was all about, you know, you'd go to a travel agent, you'd pick up the brochure. I remember this from when I went on holidays with my parents. You'd get the brochures and stuff, and you'd bring them home and you'd look and you'd fold down the pages and then you'd go in and discuss your options. And back then there was no, you know, there was no Skyscanner. Things like that, and just the world of travel was very different. I was gonna say compared to how it is today. Well, yeah, a touch, just a touch. But we're not talking about that, are we? No, we're gonna have a laugh today. That's what we're gonna do. So the first thing that really made me giggle and stop was, it says, school holidays need not be a restriction on your choice of dates. Children are allowed to take 2 weeks a year off school for a family holiday. Now, I'm pretty sure this was written by a lady from the UK. I think she's from, yes, this was published in the UK. I'm pretty sure that's not a thing anymore. Can anyone update who has children? Like, I'm pretty sure it's a 0 like day policy now that you're allowed, if you want to go on holiday, you have to take it during the school holidays. But that is a bit of a throwback. Wow, 20% battery. We're starting off strong. This is another one that really shocked me and I didn't know about this. Okay, so it's booking late. Last minute bookings can be fine if you really don't mind which resort you stay in, or even which country, and if you're not bothered about exactly when you travel. You must realise the implications of a blind date late booking. Blind date holidays usually have snazzy titles like Square Deal or Price Beater. They offer low price for holidays you take at short notice. You know in advance which airport you'll be flying from and which resort or which area you'll be staying in. You'll also know what grade of accommodation you'll be staying in, and usually what sort of hotel or self-catering apartment. However, the holiday company chooses exactly where you stay, and often you're not told until you arrive at the foreign airport. Never came onto my radar. I didn't realise that was a thing. And it's so funny because now you've got things like Anywhere and all of these companies who do mystery travel tours where you get to the airport and then you open up the envelope that they send you. You know what time to get to the airport, but you don't know where you're flying to. And things like that. So now people find that like a cool adventure and a luxury, whereas back then, if you got a last minute deal, you just have to rock up. What an adventure. Now this is where the book started getting interesting for me. DIY packages. Going on your own, doing it all solo, like booking your flight and then booking your accommodation, must have been like super adventurous back then. Like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, you're not protected at all doing that. And this one is really interesting, so I'll just read you the intro. Don't knock the package holiday. Packages get millions of us to foreign places at prices we could never match if we set up the same holiday on our own. Individuals don't have the massive buying and negotiating power of the huge tour operators, and that's the crunch, of course. Not all of us want the holidays the tour operators put together. As we get more knowledgeable and confident about travelling abroad, probably thanks to those packages, we are more likely to want to set up our own holidays, even though an independent holiday can sometimes cost more than a similar packaged one. How times have changed. How back then that is something you might have considered, but would have no idea how to go about doing it yourself. There's one certain part of this book I cannot wait to read to you because I know I'm gonna cry laughing again. Here's another interesting one, same chapter. When a clerk in a travel agent calls up for information on a computer screen, it will only be selected information. It's biased towards the airlines who funded the computer program. There is no one system that covers every airline. Did not know that. I've never really thought about that. The airlines that funded the program that tour operator or travel agent is using is really biased. And there wasn't ever one system that you could look at every single flight price or holiday price. That's nuts. Oh, how times have changed. Brilliant. This one is all about eating alone. Many restaurant managers resent the single diner because they spend only half the amount that a couple would spend. And now looking at now, like loads of people eat alone. It's not uncommon, you never get a dirty look anywhere now. If you just go in, like, I'll just table for one. They're like, cool, yeah, no worries, pick a seat, or where would you like to sit? Managers show their annoyance at the paying customer by plonking you on a neglected table by the kitchen or toilet, and then as soon as you've eaten, hustling you up to pay and move on. You imagine that now? I've never been, you know, the whole getting into fancy places, they'll stick you next to the toilet. Never had that experience personally. Sounds great though, because I've got a small bladder, so, you know, get me to that toilet. We're getting close to my favourite one. Yes, okay. So, this by far is my favourite chapter. What to take. Now we've got loads of, you know, useless things that they're recommending that you take. This one is brilliant. If you're going to be trudging around a strange city, a small compass will help you find your bearings when you get lost. Could you imagine having to do that now? It just feels like, obviously you know that happened, but it feels like a world away. Pulling out a compass when you're in like a city centre, or like trudging around some sort of like big town, not knowing, and having like a big proper map. It, like, when I started travelling, I had like a small like Nokia phone, and the first trip, I don't even know if I took that phone, to be honest. I didn't have maps or anything like that. You'd get the map from the tourist office, or your hostel would give you a little superficial map. And that was it. Off you go. Go explore. Figure it out. Find your way out. There's no Google Maps here. So I do remember that. But having to get a compass, that was never something on my radar, to be honest. And my favourite one. Still in the same chapter of what to take. So we carry on with things like a universal size sink plug. Obviously standard air freshener, tissue and lavatory paper. Of course, all the necessities. Presents for the locals. In many third world countries, especially in Africa, children need pens for school. Pack some packets of standard ballpoint pens. Never throw them at children from your car or coach. There have been cases of children being hit in the eye by a thoughtlessly thrown pen. And all I could see in my head when I read that is that back in 1992, some middle-class British family decided to go on holiday to Africa, and they were like, oh look children, poor folk, throw pens at them, and they're just like, in the eye, like, ah! Like, what? Was that a thing in the 90s? Is that what happened when people went on holiday to Africa? Were there just rampant cases of children being struck in the eye by a pen? And just busloads of foreigners throwing pens at children. Like, was that a thing? Oh my god. If this is actually a thing, the comments will surely tell me. Maybe I should Google it. Was there a massive case of, you know, people having their eyes poked out? Oh my god. It carries on though. It's not ending there. Other presents for locals. This is where it gets bitchy. Postcards of our royal family or your hometown can fascinate children and their parents in unsophisticated countries. Speaking of unsophisticated countries, Americans love royal souvenirs too! Alison Rice! Unsophisticated countries! You imagine trying to publish this book now? Gotta tell you, this one paragraph, it's the gold, that's the best bit. You can turn the video off now. Fantastic. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, we're moving on. Oh, and also apparently suitcases were an issue back then, because all the tips they give you is about not overfilling your case, put everything out, half it, and double your money. You know, the standard rule. Mine is half it again, and take a bit more money. But they keep telling you to not take too much, but then incessantly fill the book with things that you don't need that you have to take. Then, after this, she realises her mistake, Alison does, during this book, and discusses how to take it with you. And everything it goes as follows. Recessed locks and handles that fold flat are better than those that stick out. If a case is locked, it's less likely to spring open accidentally. Picture a suitcase from the 90s. I've got one in my head. You zip it closed, or maybe it's got one of those little hook clips, the fancy ones. But you zip it closed. If you don't put that padlock on though, at any second, it's just going to explode. At any moment. You've just told us not to pack things by following it, by giving us a list of things we need to pack that we really don't need to pack. You've realised your mistake, and now you're backtracking, Alison. And then you go on, Alison, to say don't overfill your case. The most common reason a case breaks is there's too much has been packed into it. You just told me to pack plug sinks, compasses, air fresheners, toilet rolls. Get your story straight, love. Tie a strap around your case. It makes for added security if it bursts open. Were suitcases in the 90s made from plastic bags? Is that why? Was it the most adrenaline-filled job to have, being a luggage handler, because you were literally like picking them up so carefully because at any moment bras and underwear and toilet rolls might just come exploding from this vessel? I'll have to pull this in. A full passport lasts for 10 years. It's only available from passport offices and currently costs £15, which of course would have been a lot back then. But still, £15. I wonder with inflation what that would equal today. I'm very interested in finding that out. Anyway, that was a little tidbit for you. There you go. Moving on! Actually skipping a few of these if you've noticed, because they're I'm trying to keep this as concise as I can for this video. Check-in choices. You'll be asked whether you want to sit in a smoking or non-smoking section of the plane. Unless you're one of the last to book in, you should also have a choice of aisle or window seat. If you're not offered a choice, a friendly request usually works if the seats are available. Pompous demands rarely do. Very nice, Alison. I agree. You imagine, like, just like going into a restaurant back in the 90s, smoking or non-smoking. I just think of Miss Doubtfire, smoking or non-smoking. Sorry, the coffee is good today. This one is so funny as well. Oh my god. So, you've checked in, you've picked your seat, smoking, non-smoking, you got your cigar, you're lighting up, you're living your best life. Right. Now you can relax, or try to. Once you've got a boarding card and your luggage is... Oh no, sorry, we're not on the plane yet. Sorry, I take that back, we're not on the plane. We've checked in though, bags have been taken. So, once you've got a boarding card and your luggage is being loaded onto the plane, it's impossible to miss your flight. Why? Well, the airlines won't thank me for mentioning this, but these days a plane simply won't take off until everyone who has checked in luggage is on board. For security reasons, they refuse to fly with luggage that isn't accompanied by its rightful owner, so they won't go without you. Have you heard announcements for planes these days?
This is an announcement from Miss Ford on the Wizz Air PAPERBACK to Poznan, Poland. Get your ass to the check-in gate because we are closing. We will literally throw your luggage onto the tarmac if you're not here in the next 30 seconds.
That is how they handle it these days. That flight will go. They will take your bag off and just chuck it across the tarmac and then go and retrieve it for security reasons. This is brilliant. Another fantastic one. So you're in the air, flight fitness, they're telling you do your exercises, you know, rotate those ankles, go for a walk. This is another absolutely brilliant travel hack though. Altitude makes your feet swell, so don't wear tight shoes. True. Some people swear by brown paper bags. Honestly. And wear one on each foot during the flight. Gonna leave that one there. Oh, brilliant. So this one is journeys by car, hiring cars, etc. No phones. I read that, I was like, what? No phones? If you have a car phone, remove it before you leave home. It could be confiscated by Continental Custom officials because of the interface because of the interference they cause to the emergency radio frequencies abroad. Yes, yes, take your car phone out. Take it out, you don't need it. Who needs a phone? The thing is, looking back, this is so, it's iconic. Some people, this is photographs, some people get so involved with taking their photographs, you wonder whether they ever look at the sights for real or whether they only see them through a viewfinder. Mwah! Alison, if only you knew what was to come, you would not be complaining in the 90s that people with a big bag of disposable cameras were taking photos. You have no idea past Alison. Right, so we are almost at the end right now. So now we're jumping into certain countries she's giving some tips for. Australia. 20 years ago, when parents waved goodbye to their immigrating offspring, most of them thought that they'd never see each other again. This is the £50 ticket to Australia, I'm guessing they're talking about. In those days, even a telephone call to Australia cost half a week's wages. Now the travel industry sells holidays to Australia to people who don't even have family over there. They're just popping over for a holiday. True, there are not many of them yet. Most people who make the trek halfway around the planet have friends and relatives they want to see. Wow. When you think about it, Australia could be the perfect holiday destination for us Brits. Again, Alice, you being bitchy? Half of them speak an understandable English. Alison, girl. Something was angering you. Another chapter, the Far East. This one, just the start. It doesn't matter how many Chinatowns you've visited in Britain or America, or how many Chinese restaurants you've been to, nothing prepares you properly for the heady shock of visiting the Far East. Who the hell does a little shopping trip to Chinatown, goes and gets their favourite chow mein from down the road, a little bit of a takeaway, and thinks, I'm pretty much there. I'm pretty much there now. Who then goes to China or anywhere and is like, wow, this is not what I expected. This is definitely not what I expected. Who's doing that? You need to stop it. If anyone was doing that, you gotta stop that. Again, another one, Turkey, how different it is now. If you truly mean it when you say you want a beach holiday somewhere different, head for Turkey. If, however, you like your locations to come with 5-star mod cons, then don't. How funny, because Turkey really did blow up in the 90s and early 2000s as like a massive holiday destination, and now like everyone flocks to Turkey, and they have a lot of 5-star hotels, all-inclusive resorts in Turkey. They're kind of overrun with them in Turkey, but how different it was back then. I do have the Birmingham one, but I might just include this in one of the live streams that I do later on, because this is a very long video. I hope this was a bit of escapism for you. Hope you enjoyed your daily distraction and you could have had a bit of a laugh. But I absolutely love old books like this, where you get to look back on an industry, and an industry I know well, the travel one, just to see how in 30 years things have just completely changed. And on that note, like how they're gonna change. But we're not talking about that, are we? We're not talking about that. Keeping things light and fresh around here. But that is a topic. So, I am going to leave it there. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you had a bit of a giggle. Hope it gave you a little bit of a distraction today. And let me know down below, how are you feeling? How is everyone feeling? Or you can just go down below and tell a joke. I'm pretty sure everyone would appreciate that. Let's just laugh today. Let's have today laughing, because there's not enough laughter right now, understandably. But I'm going to do my best to keep posting, keep putting a lot of content out there, whether it's on here or Instagram or Twitter. I'm doing my best to keep you all upbeat in these times of uncertainty. All right, loving, leaving, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a live stream. I'm going to be doing more of those, and you never miss a video either. And yeah, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll have a good time. We'll have a chat over there as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Loving, leaving, shutting up. Bye.